if you're truly serious about catching more fish when vertical jigging, I have 3 very important tips I'd like to share with you. Number 1, know what kind of equipment you have. Yeah, this might be a kokanee. Whoops, there it is. I don't know if you can see it. Pardon the interruption. Anyway, know your equipment, which includes your spinning outfit, most especially your reel. Know your jig. We're using a chartreuse ultraviolet finish in a 1/3 ounce size. And number 3, know your electronic fish locator. If you know how to track your lure on the screen, and I'm going to go ahead and show you something. I just removed a removable double hook, and I'm going to place a single sidewash hook, like so. There are states that only allow the use of single hooks, and Washington State is one of them. We're generally fishing in almost 72 feet of water for kokanee and trout. And what I'm going to be showing you works whether you're in salt water or fresh water. All right, we're going to drop the same jig down that we just hooked that kokanee. It looked like a couple pound kokanee. And I want to see if we can track this on the screen. All right, that descending red line is the jig, and I'm going to stop it right at about not quite 40 feet, because I'm seeing marks there. Now you just saw the advantage of having a real good fish locator. You saw the tracking on the Sonic BaitFish, and you also saw where the fish are suspended, kind of about 38 feet. The other thing you'll also notice is when you're using a quality jig, it has all the action built into it. And I'm just barely lifting this, maybe 6 to 8 inches. I'm not jerking it. We want to attract fish, and we don't want to spook them. The other thing I like to impress here is the fact that certain fish are active at certain layers. Now, the one that we just hooked was at 40, there we go, 40 feet. Oops, I think he got off. No, there he goes. And we'll go ahead and release this guy. That was another kokanee. All right, let's do this one more time. Okay, we're going to go back down to 40. And let's see if we can track that Sonic BaitFish again. You notice we primarily use single hooks attached to the tail. They work a lot better than assist hooks and hooks anywhere else, and they're a lot more versatile. You can troll them, you can cast them, you can jig them when they're on the tail. Okay, now I settle off at 40 feet. Now, if you don't know what your jig is doing, if you don't see the zigzag pattern, just hold it still, and you'll get this red line. Again, this is a Lowrance HDS 7 unit. The screen on the left shows the bottom 10 feet. The screen on the right shows from the surface all the way to the bottom. Now, if you can master this, I don't care where you go for suspended fish, you're going to be a real pro. You'll be happy. Your girlfriend or your wife you take out fishing is going to be much happier. And if you like fish, you're going to be eating more fish. Okay, you can see my jigging now. See how simple this is? I mean, you've got that hash mark or whatever mark you want to call it. But that lets us know that we're at 40 feet. Now, a lot of screens won't show this. And the other tip that I can give you is when you're out fishing, turn your fish ID off. Oftentimes this will mistake your target game fish for bait fish. And you're not fishing a bait fish, you're fishing for something you can take home and eat. Okay, now we have a fish that's tracking. See how it came up there? And it's staging right there. And a lot of times I'll just stop it. Just like so. Just because I'm holding it still, that doesn't necessarily mean the lure's not moving. The current down there is rotating that lure. And it imitates a fish that's still alive but in the process of dying. And this is even further magnified out in the ocean where you have tide movement, where that lure is really, really doing its thing down there, even if you're holding the rod still. We call that dead sticking. One of the common mistakes I see people making, whether they're fishing in freshwater or saltwater, is overworking the lure. There are some lures that have no action, so you have to, like a hunk of lead, you've got to impart some kind of action. But as I mentioned before, as with the quality fish locator and quality reel, man, get yourself really good jigs. Your life is too short to be fooling around with compromised equipment. Well, I hope the few tips that I've shown you will ensure a lot more success in the future for you. Thanks for watching. I'll sign off for now.